time. It's time to get into the third part of our series here.
It's going to be another Protoss versus Terran. We are going to witness Keen against Ace.
Yeah, that should be a really, well, it should be more exciting than the match we just watched at the very least. Ace, I feel, has been on the up recently. He's been improving a lot. To see this guy in Code S would actually make me happy because he's been a player who's been around forever. And he has always proved himself in some ways. We're going to watch Alicia get embarrassed again here on this replay, and we can actually highlight some more of that last match. For those of you guys who tuned in a little bit late, or perhaps who didn't know what I was referring to when I said that Alicia attacked too early, we'll get another glimpse of that here. You can see he sees everything. He knows what's up. Why does he think he can hold the Nexus, Caldor? Why does he think that?
I don't know. He is just trying to get the first Colossus, not to deal with his opponent's push, and he's doing a good job at just making sure that, well, SC is a bit delayed. He has to siege up, and there's a force field. He's doing a good job with that.
He does it perfectly. He can get one force field on this ramp, and he has to use two here. But you can do it once before the tanks are sieged up, and he gets both, which most Protoss players actually cannot do. So he actually gets both. I respect that. That's actually pretty tough to do. But from here, he starts another Immortal instead of a second Colossus. The Banshee count is up to 3. He needs to increase his Stalker count. He needs to buy time because no matter what, 4 Stalkers and 2 Sentries are not enough for this.
His army is way too small at this point. He should have just retreated. He should have realized that there's no way he can defend the Nexus at this point.
Yeah, I mean, with those Banshees alone, that's the problem here.
He only has, like, how many Stalkers? 4?
Just 4.
That's not enough, and here's the battle, and immediately the Banshees focus the Colossus, and the Colossus dies in just 3 volleys.
Oh, he didn't even micro his Immortals very well. He moved them too far forward. And the last siege tank stays alive. That's not even important. From here, the game is over. Nexus cannot be held.
Yeah, the 2 bunkers are up. The Nexus is going to die. We have 33 supply for Alicia, 68 for SC. He's in a beautiful position. He can kill his opponent's Nexus. He can do whatever he wants. And he just kills the robotics after that.
Now we just watch Alicia die. I mean, look at the worker count. He even has a higher worker count than his opponent despite being on one base and pulling the majority of his workers with the attack.
Yeah, at this point there's just nothing that he can do anymore.
You need a ratio approximately of 2 to 1 Stalkers to Banshees before you can engage. And if you're going to fight Banshees, you can kill all the Marines like immediately with 2 Colossi, which he only had 1. And so if he engages with 4 Stalkers, when his opponent has that much support with 3 Banshees there, of course he's not going to live through that. That's like absolutely crazy.
And there it is. Everything dies. Alicia with the last desperate engagement, losing everything, losing all his anti-air, and from that point on, we have the Banshees with free reign in the main base.
Thank you, Legend, for fast-forwarding through that. I can't see it anymore. I can't watch it again. I won't do it.
It's kind of painful.
Don't tell your friends to watch that VOD. The other VOD's okay, but that one, don't.
There was just nothing he can do. It was over.
Yeah.
It was a first attack. He tried to defend the Nexus. If he tries to defend the main base, he can force field again. He can just delay it a little bit, can wait until he has a second Colossus, and then he might be able to push out, but at this point it was just impossible to hold it.
Yeah.
There was just no way.
I think it's not that he didn't know what we were talking about. I feel like he choked and panicked and just did everything wrong at once, because there are situations in PvT where you can hold the Nexus, but it's not the case when you only have 1 Colossus. Your opponent has a huge Marine count and almost even Banshee count to your Stalker count. No, that cannot be done. It just can't. So anyway, we have actually discussed this to death.
Yeah,
poor Alicia's probably back in the room watching our stream live, and he's like, I know, guys. But he's not out. He will be actually in the up and down matches, so
yeah,
you'll see him again, and he may even still be able to secure a Code S spot depending on who gets in his group. So if you're an Alicia fan, fret not.
And we have another Terran vs Protoss coming up. It's going to be a StarTale Ace against MVP Keen. Rank 72 from Code B into Code A, and Keen with rank 36 dropping down from Code S.
There's something about, I always looked at Ace's hairstyle and I was like, there's something about Ace's hairstyle that I kind of like. Kind of reminds me of something, I don't know. Then I realized it's kind of similar to the way my hair used to look at times, so I was like, I guess maybe that's why, but I look at Ace's hairstyle and I'm like, I think it suits him. It actually looks good on him. I just wanted to say that.
That's the one thing that I usually don't discuss, hairstyles. I don't know why that is.
Well, listen, man, Nada's playing today, so we're going to talk about it later.
I feel like I'm out of my depth right now.
I mean, I told you earlier about Alicia's makeup, okay? I actually know
You showed me a picture. We had a tweet. We had a tweet with a picture. I haven't seen this before. It was really funny.
I'm always up to date on, like, for example, which pro gamer do you think changes their hairstyle more than any other pro gamer in StarCraft 2? There actually is an answer. There's a statistic on this. Who do you think it is?
You gotta be kidding me.
It's Lucira, man.
There is a statistic on it?
Yeah, of course, man. Look it up. It's Lucira. He changes his hairstyle more than anyone else. He changes his hairstyle more than Monica Kaufman. And some people know who Monica Kaufman is out there, and they'll be like, wow, Wolf's right. Like, only Lucira changes his hair more than Monica Kaufman. And I have to say...
It scares me a little bit that you know that.
No, man. I know, like... I actually asked people, what does Lucira do with his winnings? And they said, well, he spends it a lot on his hair. And I was like, that's true, he does change his hair all the time. Then I started to notice he changes his hair, like every season he has a different hairstyle. Sometimes he has 2 different hairstyles in one season, Kaldor. Anyway, we're going to have Ace.
Sounds pretty exhausting, to be honest. I mean, it makes me kind of happy that I don't have any.
Ace against Keen here. This is the GSL Code.
We are on dual side as the first map. At the right side we have, in the red color, the Protoss player starting for Team StarTale. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you
StarTale Ace.
His fellow Protoss player Alicia was not able to defeat his Terran opponent, but maybe Ace is able to pull it off. He is up against a player from Team MVP, a pretty strong one at that. We have Ace up against
MVP Keen.
And Keen has just a ridiculous win ratio against Protoss. He has 71% win ratio. This is insane. This is really incredible. This is his best matchup.
Yep. I remember the game in which Keen won. He got through the up and down matches. The first time he was in Code S, the game that got him through, he barely defended against a 4-gate when he was doing a Banshee build. His bunker barely survived. He had to repair his Banshee. I remember this. I remember this game so specifically because I was watching at home. I hadn't gotten to Korea at the time. This was a long time ago. And I watched him barely defend. I was like, wow, this guy knows how to play it in a crazy tense situation against Protoss in the 4-gate where his bunker was up, but he didn't have the SCVs there in time, and he barely was able to repair the Banshee. And I just, at that moment, I was like, wow, Keen's pretty good. And then he's been up and down and around. You know, it's hard to say whether or not he really deserves to be in Code S. Some people argue he does. Some people argue he doesn't. And he's back in Code A. He may be able to re-secure that Code S spot, but I still don't think he's quite ready yet for that top 8 spot in Code S. We'll see if he can secure that. I mean, he may be able to do it. He has been improving. That much is clear, but how much so?
I have to admit that I'm a fan. I really like Keen, I like his playstyle, and I think he's one of the players that will go a long way. Ace, on the other hand, we have the winner prediction, by the way. Ace is not really the fan favorite right now. 22% think he can win against Keen, and a 78 therefore see the Terran player coming out ahead.
Well, Keen has just been in the GSL so much longer more recently, whereas Ace was in the GSL a long time ago, but has recently just reappeared, and he was able to get an award for his ceremonies. That's his most notable accomplishment so far recently, but we'll see if he can beat Keen and do some more ceremonies. I think this is a really good telling point for Ace. If he can beat one of the current players who are doing really well. Well, I like this, he's pulled some probes out of gas to get the faster Nexus, but can he beat Keen? If he beats Keen, then there shouldn't be any more doubters for Ace, man. I mean, he's been doing well outside of the GSL, like in these other smaller weekly tournaments, the KSL, for example. He's shown some good games there, but will he be able to beat Keen in the main stage where it counts? That's so important. And the Command Center is finishing up here way ahead of Ace's Nexus. Ace is going to start adding more gateways here. 2 additional barracks have been added, and he's double gassing as well, you can see on the production tab. Is he going to...
Oh, the scout actually not able to spot the Nexus. So he does not really know what's happening right now. Keen, you see it in his vision, is completely unaware of the build of his opponent. Obviously, you kind of guess, you kind of think that it is supposed to be a Nexus, but when you don't know, you have to be really careful.
He's gonna put some serious pressure on here. When that pylon was placed in the front, Keen's looking for that right now, but he's not going to find it. It's not very far forward, though. And this is not a 4-gate cancel or anything like that. He's put all of his pros back in the gas, and he doesn't add a 4th gateway. Keen's going to go double check, though, and he does see the Nexus finishing.
Indeed, he does. And he is going to build a robotics 1 force field use because he wants to hide tech in his main base.
I like that, actually. I think that's worth it.
Finally taking down the SCE.
Nice micro by Ace in the middle of the map to damage a significant amount of these Marines. It's so difficult to micro against that many Marines. Very nice micro by Ace. More sentries being warped in here.
Robotics is about to finish, and you will see the Observer headed for the main base of Keen within the first few seconds. We have double gas, obviously, also for Keen, who's now just completing his engineering bay, trying to get those upgrades. We talked about it just in every single Terran vs. Protoss that we had. We need to get the early upgrades started against Protoss so that the Protoss player doesn't have this huge time window where he is ahead in upgrades.
Yeah, it's absolutely necessary.
And there it is, the +1 attack upgrade being researched. We have one missile turret built in the main base just in case. Wants to make sure that the Observer is not going to scout too much. And complete. Nice scans.
Look at the win rate for Ace. He's only played on this map 1 time, in fact, and he lost. So that's kind of important. I think a lot of people really undervalue how important it is to, even though you can play a match as many times as you want in practice, to play on the map, on the big stage, not having that much experience, that does come into play a little bit. Obviously, Keen only played 4 games, but that's 3 more games than Ace has on the big stage here, so something to consider. I really like that statistic.
Now we have the Observer out here. He's focusing just now on the Bio Army with 3 barracks in his production, and we have Stim halfway done, Combat Shield as well. Ace is just pushing out a bit, trying to poke, but at the same time Keen is en route with a lot of his units. He might be able to catch this army off guard. There are only sentries and zealots. If he's able to get into a good position, he might be able to take them down. We have Ace now adding the first Colossus, and this is a really important thing at the top left. There's the Marine Force.
This is a very aggressive, old-school Colossus timing, and I really feel that it's going to work out well for him because Keen, his tech is so behind. Those force fields are not the best, but either way, he's probably only going to be able to get about 4 probes here at max.
Finally a better force field, and yeah, he's not doing any damage at all. He's losing all of these Marines. They were only able to take down 2 workers.
Yeah, 3. He killed the scouting. Yeah,
scouting.
Exactly. So, really good timing on these Colossi. The Ghost Academy is on the way. Oh man, Keen has misread this, and this is looking really good for Ace right now. He's getting all the tech he needs. Yeah, he is relying on sentries pretty heavily right now, but that's not going to be the case. When the second Colossus in range finish, Keen is going to be in trouble. There are only 4 sentries out and
no Vikings.
Yeah, no Vikings whatsoever. No factory. In fact, Kaldor, he's not even on the way to Vikings yet.
It will take ages until he's able to get the first Vikings out, so those Colossi will be in a really good position. And you're completely right, Keen kind of misread the situation, and this is going to be a tough battle for him. I'm not quite sure if he can hold if Ace decides to push out with the extended thermal lance and the first 2 to 3 Colossi.
He's actually started a 3rd Colossus now. He's adding 3 gateways, and he is actually going to stop Colossus production at the 3rd one. He's going to hit a nice time. He's going to warp in units. He's going to try to end the game here. This is going to work out well for him. Look at this. Factory starting just now. He's adding some more production facilities as well, but he does not have enough, Kaldor, to hold an aggressive Colossus attack of this magnitude.
I think so too. The gateways are about to finish. The 3rd Colossi will be ready in just a few seconds, and there we have Ace pushing out the StarTale player now with all the upgrades that he needs and countering his opponent's army. Once again, a force field that doesn't accomplish anything. Well, fatal field, but, well...
I like this. He split his forces into 2 groups. This may force Ace to turn around.
And it does. Ace is moving back with his army. He needs to defend his Nexus. That's what he does, but one Colossus is ready. Warp in, started, and finally some decent force fields for Ace, obliterating everything that Keen sent to attack this expansion.
He needs to go now, though. His timing window is closing. Look at that. Units killed 22 to 7. And that stim that he used to run away saved his units earlier, but all of his units are in the red in the middle of the map because they have no medevacs to heal them. The starport's just now finishing, and even when the starport finishes, he can't make medevacs. Oh, the Ghost's getting trapped here.
Oh,
one Colossus goes down, though. Yeah, that was sloppy.
Not have happened. Exactly. He should have pulled it back immediately.
I like this, leaving some units at home because he knows he's got just the ability to crush his opponent's army here. And I think Ace is actually just going to win this game, Calder. The counterattack will be stopped. Good force fields on the bunker.
The bunker is dead, and the small army by Keen is already being manhandled by Ace's reinforcements. Here we go with the Colossi. Once again, he's
really
doing
bad
way too much
micro.
damage.
Way too much. I mean, I guess I'm trying to find a good word for this, but he's walking his Colossus into a missile turret at times, and now he's going to start to clean things up just by sheer numbers.
Shouldn't matter at all. Well, he needs to save the Colossi, though. He is not allowed to be too sloppy. Another Colossi about to die, but he finally saves it. A third one arrives, and all the SCVs just get killed. He is dropping in worker supply. It looks really bad now for Keen. Ace is going to take this match.
Absolutely, man. Caught his opponent off guard. Ace went for a very aggressive Colossus timing on dual site. A tough map to play the late game on for Protoss. I like that choice.
We still don't have any Vikings.
Nope. He is actually going to try to go for a counter drop here. So that's not going to work. I like Ace's choice a lot here. And it's funny to me that Keen blindly went for the Ghost Tech. I find that really funny. I just don't understand why he would do that on a map like this where relying on sentries is not something you're going to do very much because it's so wide open. You can't rely on sentries very well on this map. And playing to the late game is not something that he should have expected Ace to do. Now, there aren't very many units back here, but
well, even if he's able to take down the expansion, he's down to 73 supply already against 140. We have a sentry on the high ground, so he can use the force fields. He will be able to warp in additional sentries as soon as he's out of the supply block. He's setting pylons now, and the main base of Keen is just being destroyed. Oh, no force fields though.
That doesn't matter. He's got so many units here.
Yeah.
Nexus did fall, but look at how little it matters, Calder.
Is he really trying to hide his buildings?
Unfortunately. I think he may be.
Why? Do they kind of hate each other, or what is this?
I don't know. I don't think he wants to see the Ace celebration, but Keen's well known for his celebrations as well, but
well, he's killing a few units in the main base, but still we have 21 supply against 130, and Keen knows it.
Actually,
why would he try to hide his buildings?
GG.
Yes, the GG.
Ace could have gotten up from his booth, gone to the bathroom, and come back and won that one at that point.
Yeah.
And no celebration from Ace this game, but I think he knows that that's not a celebratory worthy win. I mean, he just did a Colossus all in, and it worked out. His opponent went Ghosts blindly, and he was like, well, I could have beat you if you went Starport Tech fast, but this way I won for sure, and I guess I can't really celebrate about that because it was weird. It was dual site. What are you going to do? And Coach Choi in there talking to Keen, giving him some advice. What can you do? I mean, it was a blind choice. He played with the blindfold on.
He made a bad decision, and that's why I lost the game.
Sometimes when you play with the blindfold on, man, you walk into walls. He walked into a wall.
He didn't have. We had an aggressive Colossus tech by Ace at the same time. No Vikings, no counter unit for his opponent. And even though he lost 1 or 2 Colossi against Stimp Marauders, it was not enough in the engagement. At the very end, we had still 3 Colossus going strong, taking down everything from a safe distance. So Ace played this very, very well. Is up ahead 1-0, and rightfully so. Keen has to step it up a bit if he wants to take the best of 3.
Yeah, he really does, man. That last game obviously was not really indicative of Keen's skill, and that build would have worked quite well on other maps, for example, or against another type of build from our Protoss player Ace, but Ace went for the aggressive Colossus timing. There was no scouting whatsoever, and that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. That is how the cookie... What? Are you not familiar with that phrase?
No, actually I've heard it. I think the first time that I heard it was in the movie, and I had to laugh so hard. But yeah, you're right.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, man.
It's funny because you just ate 2 cookies.
I ate 3 cookies, man.
You ate 3?
I ate 3, man.
You ate 3 and you didn't even offer me your... Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Here's the thing, Calder. When I go to Subway, I go all out. I know Nick and Dan talk about Subway all the time, but their thing about Subway is getting the pickles, okay? I love a lot of lettuce on my sandwich. I like a lot of lettuce, so I get a lot of lettuce when I go. And I always get 3 cookies. Usually there's some sort of deal with 3 cookies, so it's, might as well get 3. Sometimes I eat them all at once, sometimes I save them for later. But I always get 3 cookies. And when people ask me if they can have my cookies, I say, listen, you could have gone to Subway.
I actually couldn't have. There is no Subway around here in Mukdon.
Go to Huagok, man. It's like 3 stations away. I know all the subways
Okay,
in
so
Seoul.
you seriously want me to drive 3 stations just to get a subway?
Kelder, when I lived in Mukdong, that's what I did, man.
You're an addict. You are an addict.
But yeah, I'm sorry about the cookies. I do apologize.
Unforgivable. Yeah, but you would know how the cookie crumbles.
I know, man.
There were enough crumbs on your suit when you were done with the cookies. That's for sure.
No, man, I didn't get any crumbs on my suit. They're all in the bag, okay? They were crummy cookies. Here we go. Game 2 between Ace and Keen. We'll see if we can find out how the Keen crumbles or if Keen can tie it up 1-1.
Can we call Ace the cookie Protoss?
I guess so. I guess we can.